This video is brought to you by Bide, a platform where you can start, grow, and manage your groups and communities online. Get one free year by signing up at Bide.com and creating the first group in your city. In this episode of What, Where, and Why, we will talk about Orkut and why actually it failed. Orkut was founded in rather curious circumstances. In 2003, Google tried to buy another successful social network called Friendster for $30 million, but failed. Then, in January 2004, 16 years ago, a software engineer working with Affinity Engines left the company and joined Google and mysteriously founded Orkut. But the Affinity Engines filed a suit against Google, claiming that Google has stolen their code and potentially a multi-million-dollar idea. In its lawsuit, Affinity Engine based in Palo Alto, California, said engineer Orkut Bayukoten illegally took the code that he had written for the company. Google named the product after Orkut Bayukoten. Google's Turkish software engineer, who had previously built online alumni communities such as Club Nexus in 2001 and InCircle. In 2004, when Orkut was launched, it was not just Friendster, but many other like Facebook, MySpace, Yahoo Messenger, and Skype, all in the same race. But in spite of the heavy competition, Orkut made it through with 3 times more users than Facebook in its initial days. Initially, the major population of Orkut user was from the United States with a share of 51.35% of its users, followed by Japan, Brazil, and so on. However, in the later years, Brazil and India made most of Orkut's traffic with 53.5% and 18.4% of user base respectively. Towards the end of that year, Orkut saw a further spike in users from Brazil, a market along with India that would eventually come to define the product as we knew it in mid-2000. The rise of Orkut as a social network is closely identified with the gradual bridging of the digital divide in economies such as Brazil and India. In Brazil, especially, Orkut came at a time when the country's middle class was slowly emerging, when technology, especially the computer and internet, became affordable. The country also saw a decent but growing subculture of people who would start consuming the internet in places other than their homes, a case in point being the phenomenal growth of internet gaming cafes. Typically enough, this spaces was occupied by a technological elite, and as it caught on, the emerging middle class joined and virtually owned the internet. According to the internet analytics company Comscore, there were 4 million active Orkut users in Brazil, which give us a fascinating insight about its unique place in Brazilian society. It helped them organize themselves into communities now known as digital favelas. It is well known that favelas used to discuss specifics and local communities related issues or engage in broader debates of national importance, such as football, music, and even express themselves freely on political issues. India's initial trial with Orkut came around the same time as Brazil. It tapped into several social trends that have over the last decades or so come to define India and Indians, a fervent desire to engage and communicate with each other, freedom of expression, and like Brazil, the need among the users to organize themselves as digital communities, mainly based on like-minded interests. It also came at an important time in India's economic story, when the digital population was growing initially in the urban India and gradually elsewhere, and like Brazil, the internet becoming both accessible and affordable. The India story for Orkut was only getting stronger when in 2007 Google reorganized its potential and rolled out the site in 6 Indian languages: Hindi, Bengali, Marathi, Tamil, Kannada, and Telugu. However, 3 years later in July 2010, after dominating the Indian social networking space for 6 good years, it lost out for the first time to Facebook. In September 2010, Facebook's surge was confirmed, when its user base grew to 24.3 million as compared to Orkut's 8.7 million. Despite having huge user base, Orkut was trailing down in the sea slowly. There was another big fish in the ocean called Facebook. Yes, Facebook was the main reason behind Orkut's failure. Though redesigned several times, Orkut was not able to retain its user base. In fact, the initial design of Orkut was much simpler and user-friendly compared to the later one. Later, the things just became complicated to access. The website loaded slowly compared to its rival Facebook. Facebook kept it as simple as it could for the users, so Orkut loss was Facebook's gain. Orkut never tried really to take up to review itself. Introducing Google Plus already meant beginning of the end for Orkut. Orkut should have been what Facebook is today, but somehow it lost its momentum and the grip over its users. It was clear that Facebook was engulfing Orkut using its unique features which make Facebook more interactive, user-friendly, and better user experience, leading to the shifting effect of Facebook from Orkut. Orkut was never mobile friendly. This was the single most important reason why Facebook was able to take the lead. I mean, remember, MP3 on mobile, internet on mobile was the coolest thing ever. I myself remember many times getting frustrated while loading Orkut on my feature phone. I think I was using N66. Internet on mobile started catching up after the launch of iPhone and Android. Precisely that was the time when Orkut started losing and Facebook became popular. Facebook focused on mobile right from the start. Orkut missed the mobile bus. Orkut shut down in 2014. On September 30th of the year, it was finally decided that Orkut would be dissolved by Google. With a parting note on its last Orkut job, explaining the decision, its engineering director, Paulo Goller, wrote in a blog. He said, over the past decade, YouTube, Blogger, and Google Plus have taken off, with communities springing up in every corner of the world. Because the growth of these communities has outpaced Orkut's growth, we have decided to bid Orkut a farewell. We will be focusing our energy and resources on making these other social platforms as amazing as possible for everyone who chooses it. So what is the single most important thing we have learned from Orkut failure? We have learned if the technology curve is changing, we have to mold ourselves or our business accordingly. If you like this video, then give me a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Don't miss the opportunity to get notified for similar videos. Have a nice day.
La 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 la.